Okay. Greetings, everybody. Thank you for joining this next round of A Round. This is a community of decision makers from software startups striving to raise a Series A, or you've already raised it. And you can see more about this and the other events at launches.work/around/events. So, what I want to do is, while everyone is still coming and getting involved, I want to, let's see, share this. Are you guys able to see? There we go. All right. So what I want to do is introduce a new format that we have today called a solve session. And the solve session is we're going to go and take a brave entrepreneur. They're going to go and present a business problem, and then we're going to ask some questions about it and then go live trying to come up with solutions. But first, what I want to do is have a chance for everybody that's here to get just a moment to present themselves. So this is something that we do quite quickly. The idea is that you come in with your name, your role, the company you're working for, and what you're looking for. So in my situation, I would say, greetings, I am Josh Rosenthal. I'm community manager at A-Round, and I am looking for leaders at startups to join A-Round. So a leader could be a VP of something, engineering. It could be a head of customer success. It could be chief marketing officer, and obviously it could be a founder. And so what I want to do is just have everyone go around in the order they were here, other than Allan, because you're going to be the spotlight today, and give each person a chance to introduce themselves. So Mr. Sebastian, I think that you were next up.
Okay, Sebastian Holst, fool me once, and I'm here to continue to learn from some really smart people every week. I'm delighted, so I'm back.
There we go. All right, here's what we want. I think, was it Gooch? Were you going next?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my name is Gooch. I'm based in Washington, D.C., running the accelerator called Founder Institute, where Josh is also mentoring. And Allan, the Spotlight startup founder today, is also in our Penvest program this fall. So exited entrepreneur and been in the industry for quite a while. So happy to be here.
Excellent. Let's see. Do we have Almog? I think you were next up.
Sure. Can you hear me good?
Yep.
Sure.
So my name is Almog. I'm based in Madrid right now. Moved to Spain 2 years ago, a bit more than that. Originally from Israel. Right now, I'm founder and CEO of my second cybersecurity startup called Tandem Trace. Very surprisingly, doing AI agents, but in the cybersecurity operations space. Happy to be here. So thanks for the invitation, and hopefully to share more information soon.
Excellent. And Miss Christine. Oh, you're on the mute. There
Hi, good morning. Christine Carrig. I'm a head of demand generation. I have Carrig Consulting. I'm here to meet other folks and learn from the experts. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. So now let's go and do this next. I'm going to kind of take a second bite of the apple before I go and introduce Allan. So another way I could have introduced myself is that I'm Josh Rosenthal. I specialize in customer success-led growth, especially for Series A startups. So I'm always looking for that company that is reaching the Series A or soon in their Series A to go and help them with laying the fundamentals, looking at the metrics, figuring out opportunities to scale their operations, and of course, build in customer success. So at this point, I want to go with our first person that's going into the solve session, and that is Allan. He is from Randall.net, and the issue that he's going to go and talk about is scaling outreach beyond founder-led growth. It's been my experience in this entrepreneurial game that you need to start with founder-led growth. Your first 5 opportunities are probably in your cell phone. The next 10 are probably on your LinkedIn. But eventually you need to step out beyond that. And so this is a situation we're going to talk about today. And let me not overtalk it. Mr. Allan.
Yeah, happy to be here and happy to hopefully have my problem solved. That would be amazing.
Of course, we have a magic wand here, so don't worry about it.
Amazing. That's what I wanted to hear. Shall I go into presentation mode? Show you guys
Yeah, sure.
what's all going on? Yeah. Okay. Right, so first of all, hey, I'm Allan, CEO of Randow.net, and we're seeking a solution to be able to scale our client prospecting conversion so we could have more sales of our 2 types of clients, which we'll get into in a moment. And this really comes from the problem of, all of our clients have been, we went out direct outreach to them, or they came in through our sales pipeline that isn't fully scalable into new ecosystems. And we're looking for solutions, and I'll kind of give you guys the rundown of everything we've tried so far, and perhaps what we haven't tried is what we're looking to solve for. So here's some first context, a few slides out of our deck to just kind of give you what even are we doing as a company. First of all, the thing you have to understand is blockchain is the next evolution of our entire tech stack. In basically every IT industry is actively moving from cloud services to blockchain services because they're more transparent, trustless, verifiable, and fully fault tolerant, which means your services never go down when AWS or Cloudflare goes down, like we recently saw. Now, within this new compute environment, this new version of the cloud, there's a major problem that's blocking a lot of industries from reaching their full abilities within the blockchain cloud, and that's that they can't access randomness. And what I mean when they say they can't access randomness is like if you wanted to build, let's say, a lottery, you couldn't do so securely by any means. There's been lotteries built on this tech around 2018, and those lotteries all got scammed and lost everyone's money. And it was a horrible situation. And everyone kind of has fear of that happening again. And no one was willing to take up the challenge of building out secure randomness in a blockchain environment. And this impacts every industry from, lotteries, video games, casinos, randomized drug trials. AIs use tons of random numbers. Our judicial system, we randomly select our jurors, and the TSA, you get randomly selected in the line to be inspected. If you buy a Taylor Swift ticket, you get entered into a lottery. It's almost every industry is using randomness somewhere in order to build out their applications. And it's more of a deck type slide. Big market, and onto more of our business model. We have 2 business models, and this is the one that I really want to build out further. So pay attention here. This is the blockchain enterprise business model, which is where something like 80% of our revenue actually comes from, is the blockchain themselves. You can think of that. You could think of blockchains as cloud providers, if that's an easier analogy. So, Ethereum or our current blockchain, AO, they pay us to offer our services on their platform. So they pay us to create an avenue for randomness to be used on their cloud environment. And that's a software as a service business model, which looks a little bit different in the blockchain world, but to understand it, it's software as a service. Big enterprises pay us to offer a new feature on their platform. That's randomness. And then once we offer the feature on the platform, there's, the blockchain itself isn't likely using the randomness, but the applications on top of the blockchain are using randomness. So a video game built on top of, let's say, AO is using our random number machine to determine when critical strike chances happen, or when loot boxes pay out with, you can think of loot boxes, if you haven't already, is effectively the concept of Pokemon cards. You get a pack of Pokemon cards, it's got 10 cards in there. You don't know which ones it are until you open the pack, and randomly you get a shiny Charizard worth like $25,000, or you get a Piplup worth like $1. That's determined by a random number, which is a service that we offer so that you can actually build this type of application. And that comes about through an API-based credit business model, which is scalable to any application that needs randomness. So all those applications we were talking about before. And once we offer on a blockchain, then we can access the credit-based business model for the application layer. And so big picture here, we have two types of clients. We have the blockchain enterprises, that's the actual blockchain, who will pay us to offer our services. And then the actual end user client is the application on the blockchain. So that's something like Aave or something like Upshot cards. There's lots of different types of applications being built that will require randomness in one aspect or another. And so then we get into kind of the questions to be solved. But I do want to give you guys some more background as far as what's already in place. So, we have a website, and that's where we get lots of our basic website, just to kind of give you the general description. And then we kind of move you towards signing up for one of our email lists. And we have a few of these. We get various emails of various different people, depending on who ends up landing on our site. And most of these emails aren't going to be the emails of major blockchains. They're going to be the emails of application developers on those blockchains. So that second type of client, the application client. Now, we take those emails and we just throw them into our email delivery service. And at the moment, this could definitely be built out a lot further, but we just send them, 3 emails to, follow all of our socials off the bat. And then if they read an email, we're like, okay, are you a developer? We try to get more information about you, but this can definitely be built out more. I'd love to hear where we could build out our email marketing campaigns more. Then we also do lots of social media posting on primarily X, but we're starting to dip more into LinkedIn now. And we basically just post 4 times a week of anything that will get views. And that works pretty well for us and sends people to our website where they can sign up for our email lists in one avenue or another. And another very interesting tool that we have at our disposal is we have effectively a grassroots marketing organization that we've got 70 plus people in here that are, if we incentivize them, they're willing to put out posts, create posts for us. That's actually where some of our clients have, or some of our workers have come from, is they were very good grassroots marketers for us. So we made them part-time actual paid marketers, salaried for us. And for our application level clients, they end up at this page where they can buy credits to use for random number generation. And so remember I said there's 2 types of clients here. Mainly, a lot of our sales have been focused on the blockchain project side, the application side, because we haven't been offering on more blockchains. But in order to offer on more blockchains, that's really what I would love big solves for, is how we can get more of these enterprise level blockchain clients to pay us to offer a new feature for them as a software as a service business model. And that basically means reaching out to everyone on this list and its subsequent, there's something like 30,000 blockchains we can reach out to. And the path to who to reach out to in all of these enterprise potential clients is not exceptionally clear. There's definitely a way to get the emails of lots of these people, but I would love to hear some just kind of strategies, some things that I haven't thought of as far as how to get in contact with these. These are high level people. These are the C-suite of $100 million or $1 billion companies, and would love to get in contact with these people, but it's not exceptionally easy to just cold outreach email them. And then on the application side, there is, once we've entered a new blockchain, we can definitely grab the emails from open source GitHub data, which Electric Capital here has given us a route for that. And I'd love to hear more ways that we could do that, but effectively we can find all the GitHub projects that are associated with a blockchain, and GitHub projects have people associated with them where we can obtain their emails. And that, I believe, will be a great strategy going forward once we're entering new blockchains. And we haven't done this yet for our current blockchain because it's, we've more or less saturated our one narrow blockchain market. As we move to more markets, this is our strategy for getting more emails of blockchain developers on specific blockchains to increase that second type of client within a new blockchain. Now, back to you've got the general concept of what we do. We offer randomness on blockchains so that, it's a great feature for any enterprise blockchain to offer. And we've already seen they're willing to pay us for it. And we've seen lots of other projects with similar business models do the same thing. And we really want a solution to how can we scalably find these blockchains, determine if they, and what it would take to offer our services there, and do that with a high enough conversion rate that we can take those 30,000 some blockchains and convert enough of them that we have a whole lot of revenue just from the projects, or sorry, just from the, that should say, I added this a little too much. That should say blockchain enterprises. So how can we find these enterprises? And these are high level people, not the easiest to cold email outreach. So yeah, this is the kind of the point where I'd love to hear ideas, questions on what we've been doing, and ideas on how we can improve our blockchain enterprise reach out and conversion strategies.
Excellent. Your time is exactly on. So hopefully this presentation is good, but let's go and take a few more minutes because I know that we have several experts, including 2 marketers who have each had the chance to work with and are absolutely top of mind. Christine, but I'm going to call on Sebastian because he had his hand raised on the platform. He's using the platform, Christine. So
can you hear me okay? So I'll be super quick. So you have to really bifurcate the bottom up and the top down motions. Maybe you are doing that, but the way you described it to me, it was kind of mixed. So you want developers to want to use your API. I would strongly look at a freemium model. And I'm just going to throw out super fast, right? You might want to work with tool providers. AI is generating tons of code now. So get with them and have these tools just start recommending and generating the use of your API. You give a couple extra meaningful. I love a phrase that Josh uses, which is free without embarrassment, or free without regret, something to that. But basically free, and you get something real, and without guilt. I think it is right.
Yeah, that's right. A guilt-free.
So give them a couple extra features for giving you PII. So you let a dev use your API, something low level. But if they give you your PII, you give them something a little more. So now you start getting real verified. That's sort of a bottom up. With that, you're a SaaS organization. Start collecting instrumentation or analytics. Everybody loves a benchmark. I don't care if you're senior or you're junior. So if you can start saying, let me tell you how your peers are doing this, nobody will say no. Nobody will say no. And so you get some of that information and you use that to get at the more senior people. How are your peers dealing with this? That will get them to talk to you. Then it's up to you to make them want to, how they want to fit in. And there's a whole discipline to that, but I'm gonna be done because of the time constraint. But separate bottom up, top down. Engage.
And so when you say bottom up, top down, are you referring to bottom up, start with the application level?
I'm not saying what to start with, but focus on how you engage developers. So I did an application security tool, totally different, but I had 2 totally different motions, one through Visual Studio of how I got .NET developers to use my tool, and then a totally different motion of how I got the head of product or the head of security or the head of risk in the very same company. It was not the same motion at all. So you can do them in parallel. I don't know how large you are and how you want to sequence it, but don't treat them as the same. They're just entirely different. You do webinars, you do one-on-ones with the senior people, and devs don't typically like to talk to people. So let them opt in, let them get something for it, start sharing that, data, give to get, and it'll get grassroots. Each reinforces the other. It becomes a flywheel. I'm done.
Christine, first, this is for you. Next, Christine, you've been patient, but
No, I
it's
just
time to
I
shine.
have two things. One, I jumped on your website and looked at it right quick. Your homepage is the welcome mat to your whole organization. You have no information on the homepage. You're going to have an incredible bounce rate because it tells you nothing about what you do and you're missing an opportunity. Easy fix, take care of that. I think you'll see a different conversion change on that. Second, for intent signals from devs, there is a product that I've used before that is amazing. The first tool I've ever seen that actually provides real intent data because they're scanning HubSpot repositories. And excuse me, not HubSpot, GitHub, all these hubs. GitHub
Could you define intent data for me? I'm trying to understand a little better.
Signals that you define that are telling you that they're looking at purchasing your tool or evaluating tools. So what this product is called Rio Dev, and it's for intent data from developers. So one of the ways that I use it in the past is that I use the scanning when it's looking at repositories being built from my competitors or other tools, and I can see who's logging on and becoming involved in that because it's all public information. And truly, if you have a competitor, I'm not for sure about how your industry's set up, but if you have somebody that's doing a organic or some sort of organization that is, we have OWASP. I mean, it's just a nonprofit type thing that's doing research. Those are great ways to find people, but it'll give you intent signals for what your developers are looking at. Highly recommend.
Excellent. Christine, if you would put that into, at this point, the Google Meet, and then, of course, then the second on LinkedIn, and that way each group has the URL. And great job for suggesting tools. So we've heard from two experts, but we have a bunch of entrepreneurs on as well as people who help entrepreneurs. In a more general sense, not in the two expert marketers that we have. So I want to invite everybody else to come up with questions or ideas for them. And yeah, thank you for that, Christine. So please use the platform, raise hand, or just jump in at this point. But one at a time. John, are you coming on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where the hand is, right? It's somewhere around here.
Gotta be aggressive.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, so anyway, nice presentation. I get it. It's not really in my wheelhouse, but basically virtualized routers, right? VLMs. And so I get the benefits of that. Who are your competitors? Because I used to work for Cisco. So I still know what they're doing. Right? Where's money going?
We have one major competitor. If you want to, we have one major competitor and one competitor that really isn't even in our market. They offer their services not within a smart contract. So they're not really competing with us, but they offer something similar in nature. And then who we actually consider a competitor is Chainlink, and they are a large company who offers Oracle services on the blockchain. And as sort of a side spin-up product, they spun up Chainlink VRF, which is something that is a centralized solution to this problem of needing randomness on the blockchain. They have gotten, in 2022, when they first came out with this product, they had a lot of good traction on it. I think they had something like 3 million ARR, but quickly people realized that it was centralized and stopped using their product. because centralization is the entire pitfall of our current Web 2 stack and is the reason we are building our Web 3 stack. And people, their usage has gone down over time.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I just thought there would be a lot of VRF companies coming into this space pretty quickly, and what that competition looks like. And primarily, I can't see that much here in Europe. I'm in the continent, but I can imagine that there's some innovation going on in the US and maybe a little bit in
yeah, that's us.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
it really comes with it's a
talking,
difficult research and technical problem to solve, and we're the first to make a product out of it that is actually technically secure and not completely centralized like Chainlink.
Okay. Mr. Gooch, you had your hand up next. I want to call you. And then I think we have one of the other people from the Iberian Peninsula right after that.
Yeah, I don't want to take much time since I'm going to be with Allan tonight working for the Accelerator program. But just one question. So I know that you already have clients, right, Allan?
Yes.
How did you find those clients? How did you reach out to them? How did you land them?
Yeah, so most of our clients have come from effectively our Twitter marketing.
Okay.
And it's a large partnership to have with a blockchain. Our blockchain where we they pay us to offer our services here on their blockchain, and when they retweet our posts that says something like, "Hey, go get randomness right here," that means we get access to their client pool because everyone who's a developer working on AO follows AO, and when they retweet our posts, we have access to their clients.
Okay, so visibility on social, different channels.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Her Ventures.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Luisa Baltazar.
Yeah.
Sorry, my name is still the name of my company. But anyway, so Allan, you had only one question, right? Which actually there's like two questions, which your question was on the blockchain enterprise and not project. How that was your question, right? How to reach out to those 30,000 potential leads or prospects that you have on the list and etc. So number one idea is 6 degrees of connection. You do not have to have access to the person. You need to have access to people that have access to that person. So I would work on that. But you do not have 30,000, my dear. You have whoever is the best fit out of those 30,000. So first of all, you need to identify, is it whatever is, sorry, I came in later, so I don't fully got the beginning of your presentation, but whoever is the best fit for you as an enterprise. Is it size of company? Is it tech?
Yeah, so these are ranked by their value effectively.
Like 2 minutes, or no, we're out of time. But anyway, so whatever are the criteria, apply those, and then you won't have 30,000. You'll have less than that. And I'll give you a little bit of a feedback. So when OutSystems was coming out, I was in US launching it. Well, I was part of the people launching it. And Agile and low code at the beginning was really hard to explain, especially in US and coming from Portugal, from Iberia, to explain how we had this amazing low code, development, how easy it was. It was a new concept. And sales came out from the community, not from the top. It wasn't top down. A few connections of major deals, like the one we got with the Pentagon and the one that we got with a biotech company where mice farming. Those were high level connections that we took it from top down. But the spreading out of what low code could be as the future was by the community. It was by the developers. So I would say do a mix of those.
Hey, I'm glad to hear you say that. In fact, I was just writing some slides on community-led growth for a presentation I'll be giving on Yuri's sales hookup just later this week. So at this time, it is 12:30. So everybody that's on the streams, thank you for checking in and being here. Everybody that's on the meet, please stick around. Let's continue the conversation. So let me just go and just give a quick sign off. Everybody on the meet, hang on. But again, thank you everybody for being here for this next edition of A Round and the first time doing this solve session. I really appreciate all the experts that have come in. I recognize there's going to be a lot more conversation in the meet. For those people that are on the stream and not in the meet, all you have to do is go to launches.work/around. and you'll have a form to apply. We're looking for people that are the leaders inside of tech companies that are in or around their Series A. So that means you could be the VP of engineering, the head of customer success, the chief revenue officer, and of course, the founder. For everyone on the stream, thank you very much. Everybody that's in the meeting, please continue.